So next up, and I'm very excited. I'm excited about all of these pictures. They're all astonishing. But I think the next one is the one that we heard a lot about this morning from Sandeep at DAZN. And so it's a real pleasure to welcome Carolyn Ewerton from DAZN. Carolyn, come forward.
Thank you.
You've been involved, haven't you, for...
I have, so it's good to come back.
And
championing this project.
Absolutely brilliant to have you here. We're so thrilled. The Delta Protocol Live Media Reinvented. I think this is really visionary stuff here, so the floor's all yours.
Thank you.
Use the clicker, that you press it
So
on
which
that.
one is it again? The arrow down?
The sticker on the clicker.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm Caroline Ewerton from DAZN. So Delta Protocol Live Media Reinvented. So for those of you who are in the room, this is almost like an extension of our CTO keynote from this morning. Yeah, we know that this is a big statement, but it's also a big challenge and an even greater opportunity. So live video was built to move pixels. The next decade will move intelligence. Right? I wanted to pause here for a minute to just let you allow that to sink in a little bit. For the past 30 years, we've done some amazing transformation in our industry. We've complex pixels, we've optimized compression, we've squeezed things into smaller frames, we push bit rate down, yet AI is exploding everywhere around us. You heard from Sandeep this morning, but the transmission layer has not really changed. We still transmit frame after frame, even if nothing meaningful has changed. I think we're all aware of that problem. It's the speed with which we are responding to it that we are challenging with this project. So we know that it works. Right, so we've been doing it for several years, but it comes with cost, it comes with latency baked in, it comes with complexity in the infrastructure. So we are inviting you to think about things differently, because more than anything, it's also capping personalization and it's capping intelligence. So think about this. We are innovating the peripheries of the workflows, and we are not really innovating the transport layer. This is what this project is about. So let's think about things a little bit differently. So here's the challenge. What if live video could be not just sent, but actually understood? What if the broadcast chain was actually content aware and actually knew what is carrying and decided in real time what really matters and transmitted that? What if devices and the network could collaborate in real time to create an experience that is actually relevant for the customer and no longer just one-to-many? So for the first time, we strongly believe, and we know that many of you will, because we've been having these conversations for the past few years in isolation with many of you, we believe that every condition exists to change how live media moves through the world. The convergence of AI, edge compute, the demand for personalization, all of these things come together, created these conditions for us. So this is no longer just a dream. This is the time to make it happen. So just imagine what live video could actually become if we had all of these things come together cohesively. The question now is, how do we actually get there? And it's definitely not by just doing more compression. All right? It's definitely not just optimizing the peripheries and hoping that these things will magically come together. It's actually figuring out how to make this work. And this is actually redesigning how live video moves. So what are we actually building with this project? So we are prototyping the very first AI-native transmission model. So what does this actually mean? What we are proposing is that live video is actually treated as a sequence of scenes and no longer just a sequence of frames. Yeah? So there is meaning, there is intent being analyzed and understood in that transmission. Delivery is no longer the job. So AI will identify the meaningful change in real time, and only that is considered meaningful will move through the network. I'll show you a conceptual diagram at the moment, so we will get less theoretical, but we'll start discussing what this actually could look like in practice. So at the edge, the experience is reconstructed in real time contextually. So that means that all of that data that we've been gathering about devices, about the network, about the customer wants and needs can come together to create this experience and create an experience that is actually relevant for the user. Yeah, so no longer one-to-many. So the success criteria is clear. So we want to be able to prove that we can separate what we call base continuity from meaningful change. We want to prove that we can reduce bandwidth and compute measurably. We want to maintain broadcast-grade fidelity and sync. I mean, we are a pure sports platform. So for us, being able to keep things in sync and maintain rights and all of those things continue to be important. Yeah? So this is not about throwing those things away. It's actually being able to utilize the technology to maintain an experience that is hyper-personalized, but also still with the integrity, with the high quality that we expect from a sports broadcast. So, and obviously we want it to be fully compatible with ecosystems. You know, we don't want to be able to swap everything around because that would take decades to do. So being able to stay compatible with things like MPEG and CMAF and other standards, that's a no-go. And also we'll use a live proof of principle in a football match to be able to demonstrate this as we work through the project. So we believe this is all measurable. Again, we started those conversations with many of you, but in isolation. This is actually about how we bring it all together. But most important, just to make sure that we are all aligned, and I know that I've come to the end of my time, this is not content generation. This is a change in the transmission layer. So just very quickly, this conceptual architecture. So this is a shift from where the intelligence lives to inside the transmission layer itself. So acquisition can stay the same. We still transmit the content as it is. There will be continuous audio because that's important. Football, there will be commentary. So today, we send continuous frames in the Delta protocol model. We will separate two things, the base continuity from the Delta, and the Delta is that meaningful change. Our intelligence layer will then be able to detect motion, context, significance, and all of these things will be controlled by a control plane that will bring in the policy, will bring the context for the customer, the wants and needs, the device, and also the intent, and provide that feedback to all of the components of this layer. So this is then packaged in a Delta standards aligned layer that is then delivered to the edge, delivered to the device to be able to reconstruct the experience. So nothing breaks, nothing degrades. But what we are able to do is unlock that next layer. So you guys heard from Sandeep today, hyper-personalization is where we are headed, and we believe that this is the transport layer that will get us there. So think about all built on the same signal, but reconstructed contextually, built on metadata that is provided by the customer device. So none of those things that you're looking at here are new. They are all existing capabilities. I promise I'll be really quick. I can see Mark looking at me. I've exceeded my time. But it's how we bring all these things together. This is where the transformation really starts, right? So this is all about creating a new transport layer that will bring all of these things together. Perceptual, signal extraction, semantic intelligence, the Delta, and deterministic reconstruction. We are leading as we are the champions, but we are here starting a call for participation officially today. We are looking for other co-champions. We are looking for all of the vendors and the technology partners that you can see listed. We will be on table 9. And just to finalize this piece, this is how we strongly believe that we can unlock personalization in the new era of OTT experiences.
Thank you, Caroline. You're good, you're good.